Minasan, konnichiwa. Today, as you can see, I'm filming from my laptop. The reason is that I literally have not time to set up my camera as I do usually, and also I just came back from a meeting I had at the House of the Representatives. They invited me literally through an email I received 24 hours ago, and they invited me to talk about the international students. I will talk a little bit about this in the second half of the video, but first I want to start, as I usually do, with some news related to the travel ban. I would like to start from what you probably have all heard, that the Japan's corona countermeasure minister Yamashiro said that we will respond flexibly to the situation. So now they are starting to use this word flexibly instead of just we will discuss, we will evaluate. That's a new word they've been using quite a lot in the latest statements, kind of repeating it each time. What he says down here, I put in orange as well, the government should announce its policy on the mitigation measures for the borders as early as next week. This was 4 days ago, so it was last week. So we are expecting an announcement this week. However, as I also wrote on Twitter and I said on Discord, I think we want to keep our expectation low for a few reasons. First, we have found in the past that even if they opened the borders in November last year, the way they opened was absolutely ridiculous. Very few people were able to enter. So we don't want to have expectations so high. I don't think, this is my personal opinion, of course I really hope to be wrong, I don't think they will open to everyone from March. That would really surprise me, but again, I hope to be wrong. I do think though that there are discussion right now and there will be some opening. I think that's, again, it's my personal opinion. I hope I'm not going to be wrong in this case. I hope I'm going to be right. But here it seems that an announcement will be as early as this week, because it says next week, but it was last week report from TBS, so it should be this week. Now, it says as early as this week. It doesn't mean that it will come this week. So please, everyone, again, don't really stress yourself out checking news every hour, because when the news will come out, I will surely make a video. I will surely write on Twitter. So you can just, follow me, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell. So you're surely going to get the update when it comes. My suggestion for everyone, and also my mental state right now, is the following one. What I'm saying is that I would be as happy as all of you when we hear the news that finally everyone wants to enter Japan. But we should keep the expectation as it should be to avoid very, very big disappointment later. However, some announcement will come. I think so. I think some announcement will come, and we will analyze it, and hopefully it's a very good one. If not, we will keep, of course, fighting for our rights, and we will get there at some point. I mean, I'm sure that everyone will be able to be in Japan sooner or later. We hope, of course, sooner. Then moving on, I want to show also this news. This is a request that several business entities in Japan, the American Chamber of Commerce, the European Chamber of Commerce, the also International Bank Association has made. We urge Japan to adopt science-based entry policies and allow vaccinated travelers, business travelers, students, teachers, and separated families to enter the country. That's, again, another strong message. We have seen many of them in the past, I would say, week or so. Also in the past week or two, so many media talking about the situation of students, which is a good sign, because if we want to change the government decision, we need to change public opinion. This is the way it works. Of course, it takes time. It's not an impossible task. Like Melek Ortobasi has said on Twitter, it's not an impossible task. It requires a lot of time, but that's the way to do it. So I'm really grateful that we had so much media exposure. I want to thank you, Keita Nakamura-san, for writing this very comprehensive article that really explained the situation of international students, and also interviewed 2 students explaining the situation. I will link this article with everything else in the description, and also quote few words of mine. According to me, what I said to the journalists, more and more students who once loved Japan change completely to haters, saying enough is enough. We see a lot of people going to South Korea instead of Japan, he added. And then, there is an example of a student that changed destination. Together with it, there was also the Mainichi Shimbun that took this story and actually published on the first and third page, as you can see here. Let me make it a bit bigger. Sorry for today, I have a bit different resources, but yeah, this is part of the article. Our questionnaire is in here. The result of the question is in here. The fact that students are changing to Korea is in here. So some politicians saw this article, found my name here, contacted me yesterday asking if I could go to the House of Representatives because they're going to have a meeting talking about foreigners, the entrance of foreigners, the border measures, if I could talk about the situation of students. And of course, I decided to go there because it's a very important thing to do. I mean, it's a huge opportunity to talk directly to politicians. And as I show here, let me go here. I went to the House of Representatives today. That's why I'm still wearing necktie. I just wanted to make this video as soon as possible because I'm very tired right now, and I know that if I didn't do right away, or I try to set up the other camera, I would never do it. So I want to give you this information as soon as possible. And I had the chance to present this. It basically was similar presentation that I did in my last live event. You can find on this YouTube channel where I presented the question results. It was a bit shorter. I had to cut few parts, but because the time was limited, and there were a few things that I can say about this meeting, and also a few bad things. And I want to be very honest with all of you, so I want to report my experience there. I mean, I asked, I say I can share, so I think I'm free to share what I heard and what happened. So let's start with the good things first. I really want to start with the good things for this specific topic. The good thing, I think, that having these meetings now, I know the other politician, the other party are having a similar meeting tomorrow. I think now decisions are going to be made. So there is a discussion coming in. It's a topic that they are discussing. Media are talking about it, as I mentioned before. So it is something, it's happening, it's moving. We don't want to have high expectation because we may be disappointed. The same people that decided November are going to decide for March. So that's what make my expectation really low. But I really want to be wrong here. So I'm not saying please forget to be able to enter in March. I'm just saying keep expectation down. Something is going to happen. I think some opening will happen, hopefully much better than November, but we can't know right now. But good thing, this conversation is happening. Second thing, they invited me. They want to hear about students, I think, at least the politician. I will explain why I say at least the politician. And that's good. Other good thing is that after the event, I actually had the chance to talk one-on-one with few people, which I'm not very knowledgeable about politics in Japan. You may be surprised because you see me going to the House of Representatives. But until I started this YouTube channel and tweeting, I had no idea about anything about politics in Japan and who was doing what. So I met with a couple of people, exchanged business cards. I need to still check who they are. I hope they are good people. But what I said to them is, how things are looking for. It seems that still foreigners cannot enter. And the feeling I had from their answer, of course, they don't know because things have been decided. But again, they confirm the fact based on their answer. So I'm just telling you that something it's moving, and they think that things will improve. Now that could be just something nice to say to me at the end of the event, because I was very, the question and results, my presentation. So I was no smiles, whatever. very serious. I mean, the situation is terrible. I communicated, I think, pretty well. So I was very strict in asking the borders to reopen. So that's why maybe they really wanted to say something nice. But at the same time, I mean, they didn't have to. So I feel that this interaction confirmed my personal feelings, that something should happen soon. So that's pretty much the good thing, right? So this meeting and this confirmation. One of the good things is that the Ministry of Education actually was asked about, so how many students do you think you want to accept from March? And he said, if it was for me, the Minister of Education, I mean, not the Minister of Education, the person in charge of foreign students, said, if it was for me, I would accept every foreign students to enter Japan. However, we have those limitations decided by the government that we had to work within. So this could be the truth. To be honest, I don't think he would have lied so openly. He would have just avoid the questions like they always do with those sentences. So I think he really mean it. So it could be that the government is giving them only 500 students per month, and then for some reason they choose the government-funded students versus private-funded students. We can argue about the decision, but it could be that they couldn't, Ministry of Education couldn't really send more students or accept more students. That's what they said. They say we would accept every student if it was up to us. However, we have this limitation. Now, what I didn't like about the event, and it's one major thing. So the event took a bit of time to start, and there was some discussion about other topics at the beginning, still related to foreigners, but not specifically related to the new entries. And there was some discussion, and I felt like something was kind of not really, people were arguing, basically. We're arguing about something. And it really took a lot of time. So my part started after the meeting was supposed to end. And suddenly the host, the person actually managing the time and everything, said to the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Immigration Service, oh, since it's time, you can leave. And what happened is, just before I made my speech, and I was so happy because I thought only to speak in front of politicians, but it happened to have also Minister of Education, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Immigration Agency. So I was so happy. But then when they said, since the time of the event is over, they could leave, they actually all left. So the people I wanted really to reach the most, they left. And then I just said this in front of the politician only, which is of course better than nothing. There were also journalists that took notes, so hopefully more coverage we will get. So also journalists heard my speech, and some of the people that left are people that I already spoke to. So Minister of Education, the person in charge of students abroad, and someone in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So it is not terrible, but it would have been amazing if I could really show the result of the questionnaires to everyone. But that's what it is. But we will keep moving on. Thank you very much for the support. Already on Twitter, many of you are saying thank you. I mean, I'm all in right now. Like, I can't really back up after almost 8, 9, 10 months. I don't even know for how long we are doing this together. I really want everyone, not just students. I mostly talk about students, as I say, every time, because it's my background, the work I do. They even call me now to talk about students, which is understandable because that's the thing I know the most. However, I really want everyone, workers, couples, families, of course, every interns, every person that has an interest to enter Japan, I think should be able to, following the same guidelines, the same measures to prevent the spread of the virus that re-entry have. I don't really understand why this is so complicated to understand. Even Australia now is going to accept vaccinated travelers. There is pretty much no one left in the world having this double standard and this policy of banning new entry foreigners, even though they come for very meaningful reason, and also to contribute to Japan's society and economy. But two last topics I want to discuss. One, and I'm gonna share my screen again. Tomorrow, which is February 9th, 3 p.m. Japan time, on the FCCJ YouTube channel, I will share this link in my description. You will have a live streaming about the border controls in Japan, where ACCJ, the American Chamber of Commerce, European Chamber of Commerce, Filippo, which is one of the admin of Stranded Out Twitter account, and also Temple University, will be talking about the border control. So if you can, watch it. And one more thing, TV Asahi tomorrow morning in the 8 a.m. morning show will talk about our questionnaire. We'll talk about the situation of international students, and you know, try to again raise awareness. It's great because this is a show for Japanese people. That's really what I'm putting my energy now. I want to really reach as many Japanese people as possible. And they just called me today. Again, everything last minute. They called me today. They asked me a few questions. I share some info, and they told me that if not big news come out, like for example, some news that will cancel their program, they will be streaming. Sorry, they will be they will air the show from 8 to 9 a.m. and the student part should be around 8:30 a.m. If you cannot watch on TV Asahi, because I think only people in Japan can do, it seems that at 10:30 tomorrow will also be replayed on ABEMA TV. I don't know if I'm gonna get the video, but again, there are so many things going on that every day there are 2 or 3 media that want to hear about the situation of students, and I'm doing my best to get the word out as much as possible. I think this is a crucial month. Even though the border will not open completely, I still hope that we make an improvement versus what was in last November, and then with that we can push to get everyone in Japan soon. As always, a huge thank you for all the support, for all the share, for all people that have subscribed and follow me on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube. Huge thank you. I really hope that this or next week we can share some very good news. Until then, please always stay positive, and I'll see you in the next video. Mata ne!